You guys ready for book 4 of many to come and many in the past, right? But we just got this series going to share the books I'm currently reading. And man, the effects it has on you. I'm sure some of you have seen the videos. I was talking to someone the other day about that guy who went viral. Everyone was kind of hating on him. Some people liked him, some people hated on him. Uh, when he had his Lamborghini in his garage, and he would say, the only thing I love more than my Lamborghini is my books. He would say it however he said it. But the truth is, books can change your life. You may have thought, the guy has a Lamborghini. What's he talking about books? Like, how much can you really learn? Maybe you have a bad taste in your mouth from school or classes you've taken where you haven't learned a lot. But really, a lot of these books, not just with business or I should say, not just from, I should say, learning from business to family to your self values to new ideas and ways of thinking. Just from these books alone, you can learn so many new ideas and so many ways of thinking to help you grow. And that's what books are for, to help you grow. So I just wanted to throw that out in the beginning that, man, after this book, it's really hopefully opening your eyes to the ideas that these few books have shared. These are only 4 books out of millions. So the book today is Rare Breed by Sonny Bonnell and Ashleigh Hansberger, two pioneers in their own life. They went on this journey from being wherever they were at before, right, growing up as kids, to creating businesses, books, and inspiring people and teaching them a new way of thinking to become a rare breed. And as their book describes, a rare breed, that's what they are. They're a rare breed as they would describe it. And I know I refer back to Man's Search for Meaning a lot, but truthfully, for me, this is a top book I've read, and I was very impressed with it. I haven't heard a lot about it. Truthfully, I had never heard of it until my mom gifted it to me. And going to Man's Search for Meaning, that book, I believe, is critical for people to read because it helps you find meaning to get through anything in life, right? If that book was created from someone getting through the Holocaust, an extreme hardship, right? If they can use that methodology to get through that, you can use that to get through anything in your life. So, Man's Search for Meaning, find your own values, find yourself so you can get through anything in life. And the best way I could describe this book is transformative. I was telling someone, I talk to people a lot, so I'll say it again. I was telling someone the other day an analogy I thought of, and it's like a bowling alley when you put the bumpers up. Man's Search for Meaning is like putting the bumpers up so you don't go in the gutter. No matter which way you're going, you keep moving forward. You don't quit. Those values and that meaning in your life is like on the bowling alley when you have bumpers up. When you find that, you just keep going. No matter, maybe you're hitting the wall, the bumpers, it doesn't matter. You keep going. And this book is like the flooring. It's that oiled, grease or whatever lube they put on the ground to keep that ball transforming going forward. If the pins are the end goal, that's where it's taking you in life to, whatever your goals and dreams are. So just hearing that, if you haven't read them, it may sound crazy, but truthfully, I'll say it again, Man's Search for Meaning, that's helping you build your values so you're going to keep pushing no matter what. In this book, the best way I can say in one word is transformative. It's gonna help you propel forward. And it's really based around 7 virtues that people have in life. And it starts with rebellious, audacious, obsessed, hot blooded, weird, hypnotic, and then emotional. Now, I'm sure some of you may be a rare breed in one of those categories. Maybe you are very rebellious. Think back in school or whatever point you're at in life now. And maybe you can see some of the opportunities that's given you in life to be different than other people, not to conform to the rules, but to bend them to create something new. But on the other hand, maybe you've seen, if you're rebellious, how that can go awry, how that can take you down a dark path. And that's really a great part of this book, and why I say it's transformative. And that some of those virtues you have, you may just not be utilizing them to the best of your ability for your own benefit. If you're rebellious, learn how to use that to grow and not to go down a wrong path where it's hurting you. So any of these strong virtues is what makes someone a rare breed being able to stand out and grow and become something they really want to be deep down without worrying about what everyone else is doing. So just looking at someone who's rebellious, we can easily see how that virtue can separate them very clearly from everyone else in a great way, but also in a wrong way. So looking at all these virtues, maybe there's some you innately have, and this book can help you grow and learn how to really utilize it correctly and not to go down a wrong path. But what I really enjoyed is that the virtues that you're not really strong in, it can help you see a picture of how you can develop those, to create a bigger array of tools in your arsenal. So if you're rebellious, maybe it's going to show you how to be more emotional and how to use emotional skills to develop yourself and grow. Or maybe it's going to teach you how to be more weird or different or confrontational. It's taking a look at all these virtues in life and showing you or giving you some tips of how to make them useful and beneficial to you. And that's why I think this book is so transformative, because it's helping you grow in the areas you're poor at and helping you learn more about, I could call it the superpowers you already have. It's like a teacher. If you were given a superpower, you don't know anything about it, they're helping you rein that in and really use it to the best of your ability. And the things you're not really sure about or don't really tap into, well, they're helping you tap into it. And this book will open your eyes to new ways of thinking. So, same thing. I'm gonna talk through some parts of the book that I found interesting, and I would like you to hear, to see if you take something away from it. And once again, there's a lot to reading a book. I'm not here to read you the book. I'm here just to pull out a couple things out of many, excerpts that I thought were interesting and opened my eyes. But these are just a few that I am sharing. On the page, it says, read this first. It says, none of us were meant to be common. We were born to be comets. That's spoken by Donovan Livingston. Page XV. So, with a motto stolen from Charles Bukowski, what matters most is how well you walk through the fire. We set out to change the conversation. That's kind of deep, because walking through fire, some people don't even want to do that to begin with, but this rare breed book will talk about you're the person who you need to walk through the fire to get to where you want. Well, it's not about the fact of, it's not about walking through fire. It's about you have to step in the fire and get through it. So, I don't know. It's just how well you walk through the fire. I don't know. I wouldn't really say it's how well. I mean, that's what the quote's saying. Just the way I'm taking it is, some people avoid walking through the fire. And I think just the fact that you're walking through fire, as long as it's for the right cause of where you're going, that's more than enough. Yeah, how well you walk through it, that's one point. But also, just the fact of walking through fire, the amount of boldness, rebelliousness, emotional, all these virtues, the amount of willpower it takes to do that, that's a good enough start alone. Page XVI, if it could be challenged, we would declare war on the ordinary. If you hear about not being ordinary, don't be a conformist. Don't conform to the norms of society. some things are rules for a reason, right? Morals, it's morally right to do something. But it's a bold statement to say you would challenge and declare war on the ordinary. But you see where that gets you. It is. It's like a group of people and group of things that are trying to hold you back. And I like that statement because it's making you realize the severity of ordinary. The danger of it. It's a weapon being used against you to keep you where you're at. Even if it's keeping you depressed or sad or angry, conformists don't care. They just care what you're doing. As long as it's the same as what they're doing. They don't care about your dreams and your goals and your vision. They care about keeping you in line. And treat it as that. If you're going to war against something, you need to realize every day it's going to try and keep you where you're at. If you're trying to do nice things in the world and you see people every day telling you you're not going to make a difference, and you see them littering and you see them cussing people out and fighting, every day that's going to be attacking you to try and ruin your hope. So with all these books, it's all a mindset. Are you going to see that as an attack against you, putting you down, or is that going to be the motivation you need to continue to see that vision of why you are trying to create the change, to change those actions? A lot of these in the beginning are similar, but I still want, I still feel like some people would want to hear this. So, XVII, to broaden our appeal, mentors and family members suggested we dial back our crazy ideas, tame down the fluffy talk of vision and purpose. Take whatever work we could get our hands on. Don't ruffle feathers or have such strong opinions. Be like everybody else. You have no idea how close we came. How many times do you hear that? Obviously, they didn't quit. They went on to achieve numerous, accomplishments. But how many people do give up, even on a small scale? I remember I was in the store one time and overheard these two coworkers talking about. The one was saying, "Hey, you should go back to school and do this." And the person said, "No, I don't have the time. Maybe I'll do it in a few years." And you could tell by the sound in their voice that they were trying to brush it off and did not want to talk about that. And what was sad was that that person who was avoiding going to the school that they wanted to was around my age. And you can do anything at any point in your life, but when you're younger, you have all the time in the world, potentially, right? Obviously, anything can happen, but you have all the time in the world, and to say you're too busy with your schedule at your job when that's not the job you wanted, because they were talking about the dream job she had wanted before. It's crazy how much conforming to what you think you need to be doing now at a job you don't want, that, from my view, there's not a lot of growth at, just put it that way. To use that as a crutch, to not go after your dream. That's why I said go to war, because it has a lot of power to hold you back. Guess what? You say you're going to do it in a few years, and then a few more years, and a few more years. Well, that's your whole life. Pretty soon it's going to be 20 years later, and that war, the enemy's army, is going to have a lot more power against you when you have, you know, family conformity ideas like, oh, you can't do this now because you have this obligation or that obligation. There's so many factors that can be used against you to try and conform with the norms and traditions. And that's why it's a war, because it happens day in and day out. And look around you, and maybe even yourself, how many times you've already put off a goal. I talk to people all the time and they go, we've talked about an idea, maybe I don't see them for a while, and I ask them a question, or we start talking about what we wanted to do, and they go, hey, it's already been 8 months since I talked about that. And that's the sad truth. Time will pass you by. And while time's flying down the road, you're stuck in a route of conformity, not progressing towards what you want, because you're stuck doing what you think you need to do because that's what everyone's told you. Introduction. In a society that profits from your self doubt, liking yourself is a rebellious act. That's a bold statement because I truly believe not too many people don't care about themselves and they don't admit it. There's the stereotype emo people everyone makes fun of, right? Because, oh, they're emo, they don't care about themselves. But the truth is, how many people don't care about themselves who don't consider themselves emo? They may not even realize that they don't care about themselves. People who go out and drink, people who go out and, you know, party is a strong word, partake in partying that has a negative impact on their life, right? People who put off their goals, people who stop seeing friends or family because they were mad at them and didn't want to grow through it, people who put bad food in their bodies or don't work out. Does that make them, the people who make fun of emo people, does that make them emo, or does that make them not, caring about themselves? It does, and they don't want to admit it. And if you don't care about yourself, how are you going to care about other people? And how are you going to, want to believe something good could happen to you and work towards your goals and dreams? And you're not going to do any of those things because you don't care about yourself. Look at what you do in your life. Are you doing things that could benefit yourself in a positive way? Why is that looked at as negatively when people say, well, you shouldn't care, you shouldn't do all those things for you? Well, don't do it if it's going to hurt you. But if it's something that's going to make you grow, if you're growing, is that going to help everyone around you become a better person? Yeah. It's like with family, there's the unpopular opinion that I came across, and it's, if you want to help your kids grow, everyone focuses on their kids and what can I do for you? And they stop looking at themselves and they stop looking at their spouse. Is that a problem? Would it be better to focus on yourself and grow with your spouse, and how much of a positive impact that's going to have on your kid? I'm not saying ignore your kid. I'm just saying you need to grow, and then you need to grow with your partner, and then imagine that positive force that you can bring your child along with. If you just focus on something else like your kid, or if you're just focusing on your dead end job, or focusing on going out and partying or going out to the next restaurant, is that helping you? No. It's that conformity trying to keep you in a route so you don't grow. I say any productivity, any growth can never be bad, because even if it's not specifically on the path you end up on or you think you need to be on, you're still moving forward. You can always jump paths, but if you're never moving, you're never going to get anywhere. Page 3, success is no longer the purview of the Harvard MBA graduate. You don't need degrees or titles or venture capital. You just decide and act, and you can change the world because of it. Have faith in yourself. Look at a lot of these famous entrepreneurs or people in history. What schooling did they have, or what bringing up did they have? Maybe some had schooling and riches from the beginning, maybe some didn't. But the truth is, some did and some didn't. It doesn't matter. If you have a goal and a dream, then go for it, right? And maybe you can change the world. It's funny. I was watching the Reacher TV series on Amazon, and sometimes I get caught up in that, and it's easy to get caught up and doubtful and make you want to give up when you realize all your dreams may not come true and you won't go change the world. And maybe you want to end a certain problem and you go, well, I'll never be able to change it. I'll never be able to eliminate that problem. Let's say you wanted people not to get killed. When you face the fact that people are always going to get killed, that's hard, right? Because you're human and you have those human, reactions. That's normal, right? And you would want to fix it, but when you realize you can't, it really hurts you. And from that TV series, the mom was telling Reacher, one of the kids, they said something along the lines, you don't have to change the world. To do some is more than enough. And that really helped me, because just to try, I always say to try, just to try, the fact that you tried and you maybe changed one person or one thing, that's more than enough. Because are you ever going to change the entire world, every problem you want to fix and solve? No. But that doesn't mean not to do anything. That's why I love it so much. You don't have to change the world. To do some is more than enough. Page 11. Harriet Tubman was the real deal. Really was. Watch the movie. Born a slave in the early 1820s, she once said, "There was one of two things I had a right to, liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other." I say a lot of things are deep, but that's pretty deep down there, right? You can only have liberty or death. Which one do you think you're going to choose? Yeah, a lot of people live thinking they have liberty, but do you really? You may not think you're a slave, but look at the conformity around you, and it's bad, right? I don't know where you're at or your situation, but just looking around, there's a lot of bad conformity. I'm not saying that it's bad if you guys are all going to exercise and go out to eat healthy and try and work on goals. That's awesome. That really is awesome. That's a good group of people, or a good good self development path. But what I'm saying is, what about all the conformity you hear about? Opioid overdoses, drug pandemics, alcohol abuse, reckless partying, practicing bad values of showing up late or skipping work, not seeing family or people you care about. Is that liberty, or is that you know detrimental actions to yourself? You may feel like you're free, but what are you free to do? If you were a slave somewhere and someone's hurting you, well, maybe there's not someone doing it to you, but you're doing it to yourself. And you may say, well, that's what I want to do. But what I'm saying is, if you don't care about yourself, or if that's what you want to do, that's time to do some self reflection. Because why wouldn't you want to believe something good could happen to you? Why wouldn't you want to do things that are going to improve your life, make yourself better so that you can make others around you better and make the world a better place? Why wouldn't you want to do that? So you could say you're free by making these poor, morally poor choices, but you're not free. And if you think that's what makes you free, once again, time for some self-reflection. Because yeah, you can say you can live your life any way you want, and I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it's something to think about. If that's the way you want to live, something's not adding up. I would reflect on why you would rather live like that, doing things that hurt you, versus wanting to live for things that are going to potentially improve your life. I know which one I would choose: things that hurt me, or things that could potentially improve my life. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? But if you put it into values or specific things like drinking or working out, it's not as obvious to people. People say, well, I want to drink, I don't want to work out, right? But if I said, do you want to hurt yourself or do you want to improve yourself, then it's clear. So maybe it's renaming the things you do. If you don't see something as hurting yourself, like if I say eating junk food, it's fine to eat junk food, but if you're eating it to the point where it's hurting your health, maybe don't look at it as junk food. Look at it as something that's going to hurt yourself, and look at a salad as something that's going to help yourself. That helps you get through it. But the first step is acknowledging something's a problem. Because as the old saying goes, anything's good in moderation, right? But I'm sure everyone has their own problems that have got blown way out of proportion, that maybe are beginning to hurt you. Man, I feel I have so many things from the book and so many points that I've thought about. And I feel like it just takes so long. What was that page? That was page 11, right? Because as I read the book, I just snap a picture. And then after I finish the book, I go back and then type out the points, the excerpts from each page that I took a picture of. but I never make it. I never make it that far in the book, because I'll start going through these. I feel like the farthest I've ever got is probably page 50 or something. I don't know, from the other videos. But I feel like this video's gone on for a while, and it's page 11. And I love thinking creatively for growth and just different ideas to make myself better. So I could be here all day, especially if I had someone else, or when I do talk to other people, it can go back and forth forever. So, not to cut videos short, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to have a 6-hour video because, well, my phone can't hold 6 hours, so I think let me see real quick. I'll do the second video where I just read off some more excerpts. But at least for this first half, let me see if there's anything more. Okay, I'll end with one more reading. So this will be on page 27. Most important, launch like a rocket, loud and startling. That will leave you with no way back in case you start to lose your nerve. You've got this. Remember, norms can look cozy and comforting, but so can a casket. You just gotta go. You can plan all you want, try and prepare all you want, and try and ask other people all you want. But remember, only you know what you want. Only you know your dreams. It's like if you woke up and told someone your dream. Are they going to believe it? They may like the dream, but do they believe it? No, they didn't see it, right? You need to go after what you want in life. Real quick, I'm going to read one more if I can find it. Page 18, recall how often in human history the saint and the rebel have been the same person. Spoken by Rollo May. Kind of like your dreams. People may believe it, some people may not. People may think you're rebelling, some people may think you're doing good. But the point is, if everyone around you thinks you're doing bad, you would never go after it. Look at Robin Hood. Everyone knows that story. How many people thought he did bad, and what if he asked them about that idea, if he should go be Robin Hood? They would say no, right? And look at the others who believed in him. They would say yes. So that's the point. There's always going to be people saying no, some people saying yes. Take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You need to go after what you believe in. And remember, what they're doing, what the people around you are doing may look comforting. What does it say? Norms can look cozy and comforting, but also a casket. That speaks volumes. A casket looks comforting, right? Well, maybe not to some people, but it's a bed, right? It's just a saying. So, rare breed, best way I can describe it is transformative. And that's really all I got to say for it. It's got many good points to help you grow and propel forward. Man's Search for Meaning is going to help you find yourself, so you have that never give up attitude to persevere through anything. And this is going to help you transform all of your, they talked about 7 virtues. This is going to build on the virtues you have and help you grow into that rare breed you are. Because if you're watching this, you got to be a rare breed to be sitting through and trying to grow on your day off or wherever you're at. You're watching a video to learn more about a book, where maybe you're reading so many other books you don't have time for this one, or maybe you're interested in it and you sat through this to grow and become a better person, doing what a lot of other people wouldn't be doing right now. And that's what makes a rare breed. You do you.